This grotesque greed is punishing the poorest and most vulnerable people while destroying our only common home, the planet.
The UN Secretary General putting the fossil fuel industry on blast.
It is immoral for oil and gas companies to be making record profits from this energy crisis. I urge all governments to tax these excessive profits.
Here's a taste of what he's talking about. According to the Australia Institute analysis, 5 of Australia's biggest gas extractors haven't paid a cent of income tax for 7 years at least. That's despite a combined income of $138 billion over that period. They reckon that at last count, the industry as a whole contributed $1.7 billion in income tax on $110 billion of income at a rate of just 1.5%. And as shortages loom and our prices soar, so do their profits. Did I mention that we're being charged more than overseas customers?
People are living in poverty and can't afford to make ends meet when we're spending over $10 billion a year on handouts to big corporations.
Peak body Appia is adamant the industry pays its way through federal taxes in excess of 40% on offshore projects and through billions in royalties to state governments for onshore projects. But if you think Adam Bandt's buying that, think again.
We are pushing against some very, very powerful interests, and they have had politicians in their pockets for a very long time.
It's a finite resource that belongs to all of us, and we only get one chance to benefit. So are we getting enough for our gas?
Bruce Robertson is an energy finance analyst and joins us now. Bruce, we heard 2 conflicting perspectives there. What's really happening here?
Well, what's actually happening is that the companies pay very little income tax. If we look at the gas cartel on the east coast of Australia, 2 of its multinational members, Shell and Exxon, pay no income tax on over $20 billion worth of revenues. On the royalty side, the companies pay very little royalties onshore and in many cases no royalties at all offshore. So we are giving away our gas for free.
Well, Bruce, spell it out for us a little bit further. You say we're giving away our gas for free. How much could we potentially be making? What are we missing out on?
Well, the offshore royalties, if we have a look at Qatar, it gets $26 billion a year in royalties. It's a similar size exporter to us, and we get under $1 billion. So just from the offshore royalties, we could extract another $25 billion. Onshore in Queensland, comfortably another $5 billion. All up $30 billion in royalties, and that's before we even get to the income tax side, which would be about another $20 billion. So all up around $50 billion Australia's tax system is missing out on.
All of which is perfectly legal, from what I gather. No one is claiming that this is a rort of some description or it somehow violates laws. So what would have to change?
Well, some people are claiming it's a rort and it does violate laws, and one of those people would be the Australian Tax Office and myself to back them up. If you have a look, the ATO reached a settlement with Chevron in 2018 that involved nearly $1 billion worth of tax being paid, and at the moment ExxonMobil is shortly going to make a settlement with the ATO. Gemina, the gas pipeline company owned by the government of Singapore and the government of China, it is currently under investigation for transfer pricing on its convertible notes. So there is illegality going on, but there also do need to be loopholes that are closed to make it more simple for the ATO to prosecute these companies, and the fines really need to be a lot higher to deter these companies from doing illegal taxation practices.
Bruce, thanks so much for lending us your expertise tonight.
Thank you very much.